Welcome to KayoticVerse. We are going to be talking about Stranger Things, Conformity Gate, and why people are missing the point. And first, I got to start by setting the record straight. For me, Conformity Gate does not require an extra episode or bonus explanation to exist. And I think a lot of people are confusing two separate things. And one being people want another episode of Stranger Things, and the second one being what Conformity Gate is actually saying. So, do we need another episode of Stranger Things? Probably not. I'm more so just looking forward to the content that they're already going to be producing. It will possibly explain some of the things that have happened in season 5 of Stranger Things. All right. So, like I said, if we get another episode, cool. If we don't, it is what it is. I'm honestly just enjoying, like, living through a classic show. Like, especially at my age, I feel like we don't get a lot of classical things. Especially, yeah. Anyway, because yeah, we got movies about ping pong players winning awards over cinematic action, storytelling, writing, and I'm trying to stay in order, but in all reality, like, we have good writing occurring in modern day history, and it upsets me to see people call for the unemployment and calling people unintelligible, untalented, stalking their future projects, and saying that they don't need to be employed, hoping that it crashes. They don't need to write anything else. And who am I talking about? People, they're talking about the Duffer Brothers, the people that wrote the show. I think those things are highly inappropriate, but I'm going to stay in order. I'm very grateful to hear Conformity Gate theories over the people that dislike the show, because when I listen to what their dislikes are, it's more so it should be written like this, it should be written like that. When I listen to Conformity Gate, these people are saying the same thing, but they're not calling for the unemployment of the show they've been watching for 10 plus years. Not only that, they're using things that are in the show that we're gonna call Easter eggs or whatever, or hints, like X is a lie, the doorknob on the opposite side, blood on the collar, people in graduating caps and gowns are having their hands in their lap like Vecna. Max's behavior, Derek playing the video game Ghosts and Goblins, that is synonymous with having a fake ending or a ending you have to replay. Might be mistaken, but like, I just want to say I'm more so grateful for the Conformity Gate side of it, because it was more so the things, pointing out things that are in the show, not who is with who and the Duffer Brothers are untalented and unintelligible. They should never write a project. Where's the budget? Like, the acting's bad. And the things you're, like, saying in the show about where's the army? Why is Hopper chief of police, and how could that happen? Conformity Gate is pointing those things on. Then they're not making anything about how the actors look or relationship things. They're just pointing out things in the show that are there that I might have missed and I didn't see, and that I didn't think about. And me being someone who doesn't know a lot about Dungeons and Dragons, hearing people teach me the lore and point out things that I missed in the show, I've just been enjoying that. But ultimately, I've been enjoying the show because, like I said, it's cool to be like my age and coming up in a show that you can tell is going to be a classic. And you know it's going to be a classic when people are writing articles about how it crashed Netflix. And it crashed Netflix after, basically it crashed at Netflix because people were expecting another episode. It didn't crash Netflix when we were all watching Strange Things, but I mean, it actually did. It did for me twice. It definitely did crash, but it crashed, you know what I'm saying, when people weren't expecting an episode. We were not really expecting people to just log all back in at once. And it has captured, like, the eye of the world. So it was kind of shocking to see. It wasn't shocking, but I was just like, I don't think a show should have you calling for the unemployment of writers, actors, and people who you don't even see work on the show. Because when we criticize people like Bylers and things like that, I mean, they had some similar things where they were using people's personal relationships and losses of relationships as points or as reasons why they didn't get their endings, or why certain relationships didn't happen, as a reason to justify them shipping their whatever. I didn't think that was okay. I just don't think it's okay for people who dislike the show to say things like that, if that makes sense. Okay. But like I was saying, Conformity Gate isn't fan fiction. They're not requesting for a rewrite of the show how people who dislike the show are. They're just pointing out that the doorknob's on the other side of the door, that Mike's behavior is a little bit off, that characters are in places that they weren't in for like 3 different shots. What else? The X is a lie on the binders. They're just using things that are in the show to point out that things that were consistent on the show for years are not. This also ties in with people who said that there are plot holes. Conformity Gate agrees. They're just saying this is deliberate and something is wrong. People who are saying that they hate the show, they're just saying this is bad writing. Hopefully I'm making this make sense and you're following along. Because I'm just trying to like show you that at the end of the day, your hate and Conformity Gate are the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Where's Dr. Kate? Where's the army? Conformity Gate. It's like, hey, well, there are some clues that are pointing out that the ending isn't real. So ultimately, like I said, I've just enjoyed Conformity Gate. I learned a lot. Learned a lot about the D&D lore. I learned that what we've seen basically isn't real, possibly. But if you've enjoyed that cozy ending, then you just enjoyed it. But there are a lot of things that point out that we might have to run this back and that this isn't real. So then that's all I have. And if that is all I have, I'm not editing this out. I hope you've enjoyed my rant dialogue on Conformity Gate and your dislike being the same thing. Ultimately, I enjoyed the show. I loved it. Whether I liked how it ended or not, I was going to just be sad that the show is ending and be glad I was like here in the making. Here in the making. I'm just going to be glad that I was just actually present, like in my lifetime, to see the show happen. And I could tell, like, my future children, how y'all was acting, how they call for the unemployment of some writers that, man, contribute to like $1 billion trillion IP. I had the Demogorgon Funko Pops. I have the posters. I got the clothing. Like, I was there because I'm gonna make sure they watch this because I think this show is awesome. I'm gonna be watching. I already have like the Stranger Things Little Kingdom game. It's like Stranger Things themed. But either way, I like it. I like Conformity Gate. I enjoyed watching people's dislikes. When I was hearing them, I didn't really like how they talked about personal aspects of things, but it is what it is. You can't like everything. But it was more so like the unemployment of people, crazy. I don't know. I just thought that was crazy. Like I said, this is KayoticVerse. We are chaotic by nature, coded by culture. Like, share, subscribe, or don't. Engagement is engagement. Stay safe. Peace.